Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Universal English with Happy. I am Happy Verma, your English language coach. I would like to welcome you to today's topic, which is parts of speech. We are going to unlock the hidden structure of the English language. Now take a look at the sentence on your screen. The clever student quickly solved the difficult problem. Why does this sentence work? Why does it instantly make complete sense to your brains? Because every single word is performing a specific, highly organized job. By the end of this masterclass, you won't just know grammar rules. You will understand the internal machinery that makes communication powerful, precise, and professional. Now let's dissect this sentence piece by piece. Think of a sentence like a sports team. You don't put 11 goalkeepers on a soccer field. You need a striker, defenders, midfielders, and a goalie, each with a distinct position. Words are exactly the same. The word student names a person. Clever describes it. Solved shows the action. Quickly tells us how. These positions are called parts of speech. Mastering them means you never have to guess whether a sentence is correct. You will know why it is correct. Let's clear up a common misconception right away. People often think a word belongs permanently to one category. But think of words as workers and the sentence as a workplace. Depending on the project, a worker might take on a different role. A person who is a manager in one company might act as a consultant in another. Words work the same way. Their identity is defined by the function in context. A part of speech tells us what functional job a word is executing within a specific sentence. And etymology is part, which is a functional rule, plus speech, which is discourse or communication. Here are traditionally school grammar divides these workers into 8 major terms. Number 1, nouns means name things, names, people, places, things, or abstract concepts. Number 2, pronouns, which replaces nouns. Number 3, verbs, show action or state of being. Number 4, adjectives, modify nouns. Number 5, adverbs. These modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. Number 6, prepositions, show relationships of time, space, or direction. Number 7, conjunctions, join clauses or words. Number 8, interjections, express sudden emotion. Let's meet them one by one, starting with our golden rule. Here, pay absolute attention to this slide because this is where most learners stumble. Words do not carry a permanent label stamped on their foreheads. Look at the word water. In I drink water, it's a noun, a thing. But in water the plants, it's an action verb. Look at hand. In she works hard, it's an adverb modifying the verb works. In hard work pays off, it's an adjective modifying verb. Its context is king. Always ask, what job is this word doing right now? And the example that I've showed you, I drink water, she works hard, there could be much more that you can try on your own. Here, let's dive into team number 1, nouns. They are the anchor of any sentence, telling us who or what we are talking about. Notice that nouns aren't just physical objects you can touch like books or desks. They can also be abstract contexts like freedom, democracy, or honesty. If you can point to it, think about it, or give it a name, it's a noun. Now branch out into several families. The first major split is between common and proper nouns. Common nouns are general categories like city or author. Proper nouns are specific unique entities like New Delhi or J.K. Rowling. And they always demand a capital letter in English, regardless of where they appear in a sentence. Next, we have concrete versus abstract nouns. If you can experience it with your five physical senses, it's concrete. If it exists purely in the realm of thought or emotion, like justice or time, it's abstract. Then we have collective nouns. Words like team, class, or family look singular, but they represent a group acting as a single unit. In American English, collective nouns take singular verbs. The team is winning. In British English, they can take plural verbs depending on whether members act individually. The team are arguing. Keep that regional nuance in mind. Here is a massive trap for non-native and native speakers alike. Countable versus uncountable nouns. Countables can be counted directly. One cat, two cats. Uncountables represent a mass or concrete that cannot be counted individually, like water, information, advice, furniture, and equipment. Notice a common errors here. You can never say an advice or pluralize furniture into furnitures. If you want to count an uncountable noun, you use a parative phrase like a piece of advice or an item of furniture. Here are some grammatical functions of nouns. See the sentence on your screen. The teacher praised the student for excellence. Now here we have three columns: noun function, example in sentence, and explanation. First of all, look at the subject. And the example here is the teacher praised. And next there are three dots after which it's written the teacher. It can make a whole sentence. The teacher praised the teacher. Here the explanation for this is performs the action of the verb. Now let's take a look at the direct object. The student praised the student. Receives the direct action of the verb. Number 3, object of preposition. We all know about prepositions. So excellence for excellence. Now follows a preposition to complete relational context. Now let's move to pronouns. Theme number 2. Pronouns are the stand-ins. They step out onto the field so nouns don't have to repeat themselves constantly and exhaust the listener. Imagine saying Ria went to the market because Ria needed groceries for Ria's mother. That sounds robotic. Instead, we use personal pronouns like she and her. Notice how personal pronouns shift their clothing, their case, depending on whether they are doing the action as subjects, she wrote the book, or receiving it as an object, the teacher praised her. Here I have mentioned some examples for you. Person for first one, second one, third one, and fourth person. But yes, third one could also be imagined as, and as a fact, third person plural and third person male. Second person and first person singular. Let's start. There are four things: subject case, object case, possessive determiner, and possessive pronoun. So let's go through it. First person singular. In the subject case, I doesn't replace with anything and we put I. In object case, there is me. Possessive determiner, my book. Here, the determiner is my. Possessive pronoun, the book is mine. Here, mine. Mine is a pronoun. Second person, you. In subject case. In object case, it's only you. Possessive determiner, your pen, which means your. Possessive pronoun, the pen is yours. Here, the word is yours. Third person male, he in subject case, him in the object case, his car. Here in this, his is the possessive determiner. The car is his. It's the possessive pronoun. Third person plural, they in subject case, them in object case. Their team, their, possessive determiner. The team is theirs. Here in this sentence, theirs is the possessive pronoun. Welcome to the powerhouse of the sentence. Verbs. Without a verb, you do not have a sentence. You merely have a fragment or a list of words. People often think verbs must be physical actions like running, jumping, or throwing. But states of mind, existence, or possession are verbs too. When you say, I know the answer, or the house belongs to my uncle, know and belong are verbs expressing a state of being or relation, not physical movement. Let's make a critical distinction between action and stative verbs. Action is dynamic in nature and state is stative in nature. Dynamic verbs involve physical activity or visible change. You can put them in continuous plus ing forms easily. He is kicking the ball. Stative verbs describe states of mind, senses, emotions, or possession, like know, believe, hate, or own. You generally don't say, I'm loving this movie in formal grammar, though modern pop culture uses it. Watch out for dual nature verbs like have. I have a car is a state. I am having a meeting is an active event. Now, how do verbs interact with objects? This brings us up to transitive and intransitive verbs. Here is a secret diagnostic tool. After the verb, ask yourself what or who. If there is a direct answer right there in a sentence, the verb is transitive. If you say she opened, your brain demands open what? The answer, the door, makes it transitive. But if you say the baby slept, the sentence stops cleanly on its own. Nothing is receiving the action that makes slept an intransitive verb. Now, model auxiliary verbs. Verbs rarely work completely alone in complex sentences. They often travel in packs. We divide them into main verbs and auxiliary or helping verbs. The main verb carries the core meaning, like finished or doing. The auxiliary verb, like has, have, is, or did, acts as the grammar assistant. It helps us indicate tense from questions or create negative questions or statements. She has finished. Has helps anchor the action in the past with relevance to the present. Modal verbs are a special subclass of auxiliary verbs that change the mood or flavor of the main verb. They express ideas like ability, permission, possibility, or obligation. Compare I go to the office, a flat fact, with I must go to the office, that's an obligation. Or I might go to the office, it's a possibility. We have used modal verb might here. Notice the golden rule of modals. They are always followed immediately by the bare infinitive, the base verb without to. We say you should study. Never you should to study. You must be seeing the difference here. Now let's step into the world of modifiers. Starting with this, adjectives add color, size, shape, quantity, and texture to plain nouns. Without adjectives, language would be stark and clinical. Compare house with a magnificent, sprawling historic Victorian house. The noun is the same, but the adjectives paint a vivid, breathing picture in the listener's mind. For example, the diligent student secured three prestigious scholarships. This sentence could have been the student secured scholarships. That's it. But here, adjectives and modifiers showed a vital role in this sentence in showing students things. Adjectives have scaling systems called degrees of comparison. Tall, taller, tallest. But advanced English also obeys the strict, subconscious rule of natural objective order. Why does a big red ball sound completely natural to your ear, while a red big ball sounds deeply strange? Because native speakers follow an exact sequence. Opinion comes first, followed by size, age, shape, color, origin, material, and purpose behind the noun. or before the noun. Memorize this hierarchy and your writing will instantly show native grade. Let's look at the adverbs. Adverbs are the ultimate multitaskers. When adjectives only modify nouns, adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. They answer questions like how, when, where, and to what degree. In she runs quickly, quickly modifies the verb. But in the test was extremely difficult, extremely modifies the adjective difficult. And in he drove very dangerously, very modifies the adverb dangerously. Notice how versatile they are. A classic trap for learners is confusing adjectives and adverbs, especially with ly endings. Remember, if you are describing a noun, use an adjective. He is a careful driver. If you are describing how an action is performed, use an adverb. He drives carefully. Watch out for tricky flat adverbs like hard, fast, and late. We say he works hard. If you say he works hardly, you have completely changed the meaning to mean he barely works at all. Time prepositions follow strict rules. Use all for exact times, on for days, and in for months, years, and decades. But what trips up advanced speakers are fixed idiomatic prepositions. In competitive exams and professional writing, certain words demand specific prepositions. You are married to someone, not with someone. You discuss a topic directly. You don't discuss about it. And you are good at a subject, not good in it. Memorize these fixed pairs. They are absolute gold standards for fluency. As we did take a look at the gold standard rules that have to be memorized, here in mastering prepositional collocations, there are a few errors which you could make while writing or speaking. In exam and professional writing traps, it could be she is married with a doctor. But no, she is married to a doctor. Second example, let's discuss about the project. Let's discuss the project. So no preposition needed at all. He is good in mathematics. He is good at mathematics. Now this is the time for conjunctions. The syntactic bridges of language. We start with coordinating conjunctions, easily remembered by the famous acronym FANBOYS. FANBOYS. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. They link equals to equals, joining two independent clauses or two parallel nouns. Notice how, but creates a sharp contrast between wanting a car and lacking the funds. Beyond fanboys, we have subordinating conjunctions and correlative pairs. Subordinating conjunctions like because, although, or unless introduce dependent clauses, adding condition, cause, or concession. Correlative pairs like not only but also work like bookends, balancing two halves of a sentence systematically. When you master correlative conjunctions, your speech gains rhythmic elegance and persuasive force. The emotional exclamation points of language, like ouch, wow, and a golden rule test. Look at the word before. Is it a preposition or a conjunction? Look at what follows it. If it's followed by a simple noun phrase like lunch, it's a preposition. If it's followed by a full subject verb clause like we started, it's a conjunction. Once again, context decides the label. Let's run a complete stress test on a multi-layered sentence. Look at how every single word lights up in our color palette. The determiner. Extremely. Adverb modifying intelligent. Intelligent. Adjective modifying student. Student. Noun subject. Quickly. Adverb modifying solved. Solved. Verb action. The determiner. Difficult. Adjective modifying assignment. Assignment. Noun object. Before. Preposition of time. Lunch. Noun object of preposition. When you can break down any sentence like this, you have achieved true grammatical X revision. Let's take a look at the same word but in a different job. Let's take a word fast. Now as a noun, keep your fast for health. As a verb, they fast during Ramadan. As an adjective, he drove a fast car. Second word, light. Turn off the light. Please light the candle. In verb, wear a light jacket. As an adjective. Third, clean. Give the room a clean. Clean your workstation. As a verb. Keep your desk clean. As an adjective. Why does all of this matter in the real world? Because in professional environments, clean grammar signals competence, authority, and meticulous attention to detail. Notice how eliminating a redundant preposition like discuss about or fixing a misplaced modifier transforms a clumsy sentence into a commanding executive statement. Good grammar is your invisible resume. That is the thin line, the difference between the drafting of a paragraph. Either you are a professional or a student, we all make mistakes. But there's always a scope to learn more. Let's take a part at advanced distinction, the difference between participles as adjectives. ing participles, active state. Ed participles, passive state. So ing participles, the active state nature, describes what causes an emotion. For example, the lecture was fascinating. And in ed participles, which is passive state in nature, describes who receives or experiences the emotion. The students were fascinated. Before we wrap up with our final applications, let's look at the two most common traps that catch every advanced writers. First, subject-verb agreement in the box of chocolates are missing. People mistakenly agree the verb with chocolates, but the real subject is the singular box. Second, pronoun case after prepositions. People often say between you and I to sound formal. That is grammatically incorrect. Between is a preposition, and prepositions demand object pronouns. So it must always be between you and me. Now it's time for the knowledge check. Let's say the sentences. Identify the parts of speech of the highlighted word in each sentence, okay? So let's take a look at the sentences. The swift falcon dived. Here, the target word should be swift. And the correct classification is adjective, modifying falcon. It is adjective. Second sentence. She spoke very clearly. The target word here is very. And it is an adverb, modifying adverb very clearly. Sentence number 3. They arrived before noon. Here the target word should be before. Preposition, correct. Preceding noun. Take a look at this one. Question number 1. Hard work guarantees success. Question number 2. Before we finalize, let's review. Now, let's come back to the question number 1. Hard work guarantees success. Let's change it. What part of speech is hard? The answer, modifying noun verb, which is adjective, hard. And in question number 2, before we finalize, let's review. What part of speech is before? Now the answer here, introducing clause, is conjunction. Time for recap and take a look at the summary tree. Here the nominals should include noun, name, pronoun, just replace. For prediction, verb, action or stative in nature. Auxiliary and modal. In modifiers, adjective, noun mod, adverb, verb, adjective mod. Now the connectors, preposition, relation, conjunction, link. Here context is king. Context is the king. Function dictates form. Always analyze how a word behaves in its sentence ecosystem. We have reached the peak of a masterclass. Let's lock in our key takeaways with a mastermind map. Remember, words are not rigid boxes, they are flexible tools. Always look at the local job a word is performing in its sentence. Master the skeleton of nouns and verbs. Dress them with adjectives and adverbs. Now connect them seamlessly with prepositions and conjunctions. And remember this slide. Nominals, predictions, modifiers, and connectors. If any one of you have questions, just pin them in the comment section and I'll take a look at each and every one of them, and as soon as possible, I'll revert back. Don't just memorize grammar rules, understand what every word is doing. Thank you so much for completing this comprehensive masterclass on parts of speech. Keep looking at the language not as a set of rigid boxing rules, but as a living system of working parts. Until next time, keep communicating with absolute clarity, confidence, and precision. Thank you so much for sticking with me till the end of the video. And do subscribe my channel Universal English with Happy if you haven't yet, and press the bell icon so you never miss an update. Happy journey, happy learning.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं, फिल्मोरा है ना।